our students, our parents. We're having a great year. Right now it's going well, and everything is great. If you don't know, we had a 5-star report card. There are 607 public school districts in the state of Ohio. Only 18 did it, and so that puts us in the top 3. So needless to say, I'm very proud to say I'm part of the Loveland City School District and everything that we do for kids, and it's just a great place to be. I do want to take a minute and introduce other individuals from the district. We have John Espy, who is our treasurer. John lives in the community and has a couple of young ladies that attend. One's going to be starting kindergarten, so we'll see how that goes. But I know John's excited about that. We have our president of the school board, Jonathan Eilert. And we have our director of communications and community engagement, Andrew Setters, is here also. And the last thing I will say is, if there's any event, anything that you would like us to attend to try and communicate out what we do as a school district, I know finances always come up, and we really like to get out and get ahead of that, and the whole state funding sometimes doesn't help Loveland, but it doesn't matter because we do a great job with kids, and our staff is one of the best in the state of Ohio. I'm really, really proud of everything we do. So I'm going to turn it back to CC and say thank you for everything.
All right. Thank you. All right, I'm first going to bring up Jody Lease, and she's going to tell you some things that are happening in Sims Township. Jody is one of my favorite trustees at Sims Township, so there's 3, but she's one of my favorites.
The favorite woman.
Jody, thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Hello, again, I'm Jody Lease. I'm a trustee for Sims Township. I've been a trustee for Sims Township for 20 years. I'm pleased to announce that we have a new administrator. His name is Bill Pittman. He's been with the township for 30 years, and unfortunately he couldn't make it today, so you got me, the B team, so please bear with me. Sims Township has approximately 60,000 residents. We have 3 school districts: Indian Hill Exempt, Sycamore Community, and Loveland City Schools. We have 9 parks totaling 200 acres. I'm very proud that I've been a part of developing 3 of our major parks. Fun fact for today: our place set at Seven Gables, which is on the cover of your magazine, has been nominated as one of the top 5 place sets in Ohio from Ohio Parent Magazine. So some of you in the room, I'm sure, have been there, and you know why it's the place set of the year. And some of you need to go, so please go and have fun. Our form of government, there's 3 elected officials. They're trustees. It's myself, Ken Bryant, Phil Beck, and we have 1 fiscal officer, Joe Grassi. Our township is 9 square miles, 43 miles of road. Fun fact, one of the residents' favorite thing is we are excellent at snow removal. So congratulations to us for that. The township generates money through tax levies, and each tax levy goes into a specific fund, which would be fire, police, parks, etc. Safety is the trustees' main concern, and we contract out with only the best. So Loveland Sims is our fire department, and the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department is our police and fire, or police. We also plan out with our planning and development for our zoning through Hamilton County. In 2025, we are updating our master plan. If there's anybody in the room that lives in Sims Township and would like to be on the committee to serve on that committee, we would love to have you. We also have a thriving business. Also in 2025, we are rolling out a business initiative program for development, awareness, and retention. We offer environmental programs, one-stop drop, Christmas tree, holiday lights, cell phone, paper, plastic, and recycling programs. Fun fact, Sims Township, for the past 3 years, has beat the city of Loveland for their holiday light recycling competition. We team up with Loveland Sustainability to provide a monthly collection of items that cannot be placed in a curbside bin, and we take them down to the Cincinnati Reuse Hub. Last year we celebrated our bicentennial. We had an awesome year of celebration and community events. As 2025 moves in, we are going to mash our celebration events from last year with our traditional Sims Township celebration. So please look on the website for events, and please join us. I feel Sims Township has the best of all worlds. We have strong family community, great parks, thriving businesses, exceptional snow removal, and we are lucky to be located with wonderful communities since our Loveland and Miami Township. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jody, that was awesome. I think you're the BT. I think we're gonna have a snow removal theme. We've already talked about that a couple times, so. Next up, we have Steve Kelly with Miami Township. He is the township, I know a little bit, Township Administrator and Public Safety Director for Miami Township, having previously served as their fire chief for the past 10 years. Steve has spent 28 years in the public safety and local government and is excited to delve into the new role. It's been a year, right? You said it's about a year?
Yeah.
1 year into the new role that will allow him to serve the community in different ways. Steve is a member of the Ohio City and County Management Association, the Ohio Economic Development Association, the International Association of Fire Chiefs, and the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association, where he enjoys engaging in legislative efforts that support local governments and the services they provide. Steve also serves as an adjunct professor at the University of Cincinnati, go Bearcats, in the fire science program, where he appreciates the opportunity to assist with developing the generation of public safety professionals. However, in his spare time, this gets good. He enjoys serving on the board and coaching for the Mason Challenger Baseball League, where his daughter has played baseball for 8 seasons. That's exciting. Helping manage his son's hockey team with the Cincinnati Swords. He also serves as an adjunct professor for the University of Cincinnati in the fire science program and enjoys helping to develop the next generation. You don't want me to read that? Okay. Well, we're almost there now. Develop the next generation of fire service professionals. All this is made possible through the love and support of his family. So, yeah, I'm sure you don't get much rest, but thank you so much for being here. And now I will turn it over.
Thank you very much. So I apologize. That was supposed to be like the first paragraph, but I guess I didn't cut and paste real well. So my attention to detail's a little off, and that's why Kelly Gibson, our executive assistant over there, helps me manage that stuff. But I did that on my own, and that's the result that you get. So I'm very excited to talk to you today a little bit about what we've got going on in Miami Township. Wow, what a year. Last year, I stood here with many of you that were in this room, and I was the fire chief and the interim administrator after Jeff Wright had stepped away. And by my bio that Cece just read, you can tell I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And I was really struggling with whether or not I was going to pick one lane or the other. And finally it came down after about 6 months. My wife looked at me one day and she goes, pick one. I don't care what it is, but pick one. I need you to focus because you're gone all the time. And I said, okay, that's fine. And I'm lucky enough and blessed enough to have an opportunity in my life to be ready to kind of take that fork in the road and see where the new direction goes. So I've been very honored to work with all the folks that are sitting at that front table right here that I'll introduce to you in just a minute for about the last year. It'll be official in March. I officially took the job in March, but wow, this past year has just been a whirlwind. We got a ton of stuff going on. I'm going to share some of that with you today. Try to get through this as quick as possible. If you know me, I talk fast. So if you want more information afterwards, I've got cards over there. We can meet up for coffee. We can follow up, whatever you need. The reason that we're able to do the things that we do is our 4 elected officials are extremely supportive of all the departments and all the efforts. They have a great relationship with our community. We've got Mary Maitland-Wolf, Eric Ferries, our fiscal officer, Ken Tracy, and Mark Schulte, those are our 3 trustees. They're very supportive of everything that we try to do. So it makes our jobs very easy. Oh, sorry, there's their names popped up down there. And then this is our leadership staff, and many of them are sitting over at this table today, so I would highly encourage you after this, we got some time to network and mingle a little bit. Introduce yourselves to these folks, and you can see all their names up there, and they're all responsible for different parts of the township that make everything happen on a daily basis. These folks are why I can do what I do, because they do their jobs so well. There's an amazing staff. It's part of the reason I took the position as the township administrator, because I knew that these folks were going to be here to offer support and do the things that they can do. So we're fortunate, though. A lot of these folks are in new positions as well. So when I moved out of the fire chief's role, Dave Jetter stepped in as our new fire chief. Our police chief retired last year. Our service director retired last year. So Chief Hirsch and Chris Bernzel stepped into those roles for us as well. So even from a year ago, this slide that I had for you has changed with at least 3 or 4 different people in new positions, new faces in new positions. But we're all here to serve the community and work with our businesses to make sure that you're successful. So if there's anything that you can do, we're happy to help. Chris is also really good at snow removal, if we're talking about that, as one of our measuring tactics. But I will say, Sims Township and Loveland, you got us beat on the holiday light recycling because we don't do that. So I'm sorry, we're going to come in third on that one. I'll argue with you on the snow removal part, we'll probably come in first. And the reason is, you can see here, here's some of our demographics. We cover 156 miles of roadway, 6 different community parks, 17,000 households in the township with 44,000 residents. And we cover 33 square miles. The reason I show you this slide with everybody around us between Union and Goshen, Loveland, Milford is because we're one of the best kept secrets. Everybody's mailing address is Loveland or it's Milford. And they don't have Miami Township. But when you call and you need services, if you call 911, a fire truck or a police car shows up that has Miami Township on the side of it. So we love to tell people about who we are and what we do and how we serve our community. For those of you that I haven't told you this before, if you ever want to see or know Miami Township on a map, it looks like the profile of a schnauzer, right? Can you see the dog? Right? Can you see the ear? Can you see the nose and the mouth and everything in front of it? Am I wrong? Right? So once you've seen that, you'll never unsee it, but you'll also know where Miami Township is on the map in the northwestern corner of Claremont County. Some of our rooftop data. I know a lot of our businesses are in attendance today and everything. You want to know, like, what kind of rooftops do we have? What kind of community are we? Predominantly residential community with some pockets of commercial and retail mixed in. But our median household income is well above that of the county, as is our median home value as well. So taxes are a difficult thing for all of us to work through right now, especially with our residents and the need to continually ask for more taxes and stuff. So we try to make sure that we balance a lot of our ask back to the community with understanding some of these values and things that they need as well. Brian Elliff is here. He's our zoning director, community development director right there. And Brian gave me all of this data, which basically I said, okay, talk to me like I'm a fire chief still, and tell me what I'm looking at here. And Brian basically said, we're really busy. And we do a lot of permits, and we do a lot of plan review, and we work with a lot of businesses to figure out how they can either add on to their existing business, redevelop, or new businesses that are trying to come into the community, as well as a lot of residential. So the statistic I got the other day that was really interesting, from 2022 to today, we have over $211 million in total valuation for building and fire permits that have been issued for Miami Township in that time frame. So what does that tell you? There's a lot of development going on in an area where a lot of people think we're built out and we don't have a lot of available land. It's still there, and developers are getting very creative with where they're going to put subdivisions, where they want to build businesses, or how they want to add on to existing facilities. Or in some cases, tear them all the way down, scrape the site, and build something brand new on it. So we're willing to be a partner with that. Brian and I both are more than happy to have a conversation with you if you'd like to consider moving into Miami Township. Park projects. We've got a lot. We've got 6 community parks. Really, 4 of them are truly active. 2 of them are more passive than anything. But what you've got here on the right-hand side is Miami Riverview Park, which is just over the river, real close to here if you want to go over and check it out. Chris and I worked together over the last year and a half to make sure that we obtained some state capital grant funding for that park to be able to update and put in new basketball and pickleball courts. Pickleball is all the rage right now, right? I still haven't played. I kind of played a game. Ryan and I did in a marketing campaign that we did last year, if you haven't caught that. But trying to do pickleball and everything is just very popular right now with our residents. So we didn't have facilities to be able to do that. So putting new facilities in the park and adding some amenities was a key component of us trying to make sure we gave the community what they wanted. The other part that's coming this year, we're actually working on this spring, is we obtained a grant from the National Fitness Council to install a fitness court studio project. And what you see there is basically an outdoor kind of fitness facility. You can go, or we can host classes there if we want to through our recreation department. And Ryan Himes, our recreation director, if I didn't already give him a plug. Ryan's going to be looking at hosting some outdoor classes for fitness that we have when this gets up and running, probably around April or May. You should see it come out of the ground. It will be over at Community Park off of Buckwheat Road. The nice thing is you don't have to sign up for a class. If you want to go there any time of day, they build this thing so you can scan a QR code and get a full body workout in 7 minutes. It's one of only 6 in the state of Ohio. The next closest one to here right now would be Springboro. So we're very excited to get this up and running for our community, but we also look at it as another draw to Claremont County and this part of the region. Some of our completed development projects that we did. Many of you are familiar with the new Aldi that's down off of 28 and Lorvin Drive. Chris and I inherited that project from our former bosses. And as we work to kind of finish this off, that involves the installation of a new public roadway, as well as the Aldi building that you can see there, future sites that are behind that for development, and then an existing tie-in to one of our existing subdivisions that's an older neighborhood for the community that really didn't have good access. So giving them the ability to exit onto State Route 28 with a traffic light highly increased the safety in that area and also provided them with a pathway that they didn't have previously. So that road is up and running, the connection's been made. We're finishing up that project in the spring. We've got some in and out work to do between the Christ Hospital Medical Arts Building that's right there, as well as the other existing entrance to the subdivision that you see here, outdoor acres. The Kroger on State Route 28 at Mulberry Square, that's kind of getting wrapped up right now. That's gone through a big transition from the Kroger that it was before to the new Kroger Marketplace. That's an $8.5 million project for us, an expansion in that plaza. It's also resulted in drawing in some new stuff further down the way. So we had one of the sub shops, Penn Station Subs, moved down a little bit. Crumble Cookie moved in, and we've got a few other businesses that are looking at moving into that plaza as well. So if you haven't had Crumble Cookie, don't, because once you do, you'll never want to stop eating Crumble Cookie. Now my daughter asks for them all the time. Dad, when you're on your way home, pick up Crumble. Field Chase Senior Apartments up here on Ward's Corner Road. If you take 275, get off at Ward's Corner and turn right. Our fire chief will testify to this. His mother moved in there, so they must be doing okay. These are about 120 units marketed towards seniors that are 55 and over. So that for us represented a $12 million project, and also will help develop, if you drive in that driveway, you'll see Florentine Gardens, the assisted living and nursing facility right there on the right-hand side. There's gonna be a new subdivision that wraps in behind that, drops all the way over the hill, and touches Loveland Miamiville Road, and that's called Hawley Farms. Brian's working on the plan review for that, and I think some model homes are going up right now, is that right, Brian? So that's, how many units are there? 50 units back there. So again, that's one of those kind of difficult topography types of land that we thought might never develop, and sure enough, people are going to build houses there. Another one of our big current developments coming, and construction will start on that this year, is the new Hills development with about 330 units off of Cinema Drive, right along I-275, adjacent to the Eastside Christian Church. So for us, that's a $20 million project with some pretty high-end apartments. We all know right now housing's key, right? And one of the biggest things I heard from one of our regional development partners, Ready Cincinnati, was jobs need a place to sleep at night. So if you're gonna start expanding jobs and developing the workforce, they need somewhere to live too. So being a residential community like Miami Township is, we're continually trying to find ways to meet that need with creative projects, and this is gonna be one of them with another high-end multifamily development that's coming in here. Should be open and running probably by 26. You think that's right, Brian? Close then, yeah, 26, 27, or somewhere in that range. But look for that development to start happening here shortly. We're also going to get a Wawa. I know. Yeah, there you go. Right?
I love
Waiting
it.
for the one that was going to get that reaction.
Love
You
the
know it's gonna
Wawa.
be Wawa. So there we go. $2.5 million project. It's a little hard to see, but it's going to be on the Branch Hill Guinea Pike State Route 28 corner, right behind the wine connection. I know many of us are familiar with where the wine connection is, but right in behind that is where Wawa's going to go. And then a little further down the street, we're getting a new Redwood apartment development. Again, the importance of having some multifamily, some different types of housing available to the community. That's a $24 million project that's going to go on some open land that's back there as well. So great things are happening on State Route 28 for sure. A little further south, down off of US Route 50 at Wolfpen Pleasant Hill Road. I think I mentioned this slide last year. We're closer than we ever have been. Probably getting ready to reissue a TIF here on this property shortly. But the Rise Commercial Development, which will be a series of small kind of small business accelerator buildings where they have like an office in the front and maybe some warehouse space or some distribution space in the back. That's about a $16 million project coming in to develop 17 units on this vacant site of land right there at that corner, as well as a convenience store that's going to be coming in as well. So we're hoping that ultimately there'll be a phase 1 and a phase 2, could develop out a little bit more along the US 50 corridor. And there's a lot of redevelopment opportunities along the US 50 corridor, especially in the Technis Center and Park 50. So if you're interested in anything down along the southern border of the township against Eastgate, or I'm sorry, against Union Township and Milford, let us know. We're more than happy to talk to you about that. So how do you move into Miami Township? There's a couple ways. Brian and I are here right now. We can give you a card, we can talk about it, set up a meeting. You can go to our website, and this wonderful button right here on this page with my ugly mug sitting right in the middle of it. If you go looking for that, you're like, oh, look at that, I'm gonna look at this. Available commercial properties, if you click that button, you get this great map that shows you a lot of the commercial properties that are currently available in Miami Township. You can call me, you can email me, or up right above that is our zoning page, and if you click on that, you get a picture of Brian, and you get a whole lot better information than anything that I can give you. So at that point, reach out to either of us, and we'll be more than happy to help you. Milford Middle School, I know we've got Loveland here today. I love working with Mr. Broadwater. Love working with the Milford schools as well. The great thing is we sit in a community that has both school districts. So Milford's working on developing their middle school right now, and if you're starting to see that come to fruition, you've seen the field house come up and running. The middle school here is about a $67 million project. They intend to move into that at the 2025 school year in the fall. So it's getting close. There's a lot still left to do, but it's an amazing looking building. And hopefully once this gets built, it means that Mount Miami Township or Mount Milford gets torn down, which is that giant dirt pile out there along Wolf Pen Pleasant Hill Road that everybody keeps asking on Facebook. What is that? What's it doing? It's just dirt, folks, and it's just sitting there. That's all it does. Community partnerships and programs, just some of the variety of things that we do. Obviously, we have police, fire and EMS, service, recreation, zoning, multimedia. Will Menz is here. Will puts a lot of these slides together for us and helps us look really good. We try to reach out too. We did this, you see this gentleman up here dressed as a firefighter where it says Fire Rescue Tools. We shot a PBS video with this gentleman last year showing kids what it's like to be a firefighter for a day. So we would love the opportunity to work with you in your business or work with you in your community, your homeowners association, wherever you live. We love to get out in the community and do things. Just let us know what we can do. You can even get Officer Heitzelman to come out with his canine and do some sledding with the kids up at Riverview Park when the snow is really deep and everything. So we're more than happy. All you have to do is ask and we'll find a way to say yes and get out there. Connecting with our residents and businesses and visitors, we offer a lot of different types of classes. There's a lot of safety improvements coming, and I can't do it justice, but Chief Hirsch is here to talk about some of our traffic safety studies and the new systems that we've got in place for that. Brian's here. We talk about doing site plan reviews. There's a voluntary camera registration and vacation check program through our police department. These days, almost everybody has a camera on their house in some way, shape, or form. Those registrations can help us to solve crimes, can help you to protect your community and the residents that live around you. We also offer CPR, first aid, and AED training, simple stuff for your business that can come out and train your staff or train even if you've got a group of Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts that want to get a badge, we can do that as well. We can have you come to the firehouse or come to you if you need it. And then we've got all of our online presence stuff as well. We've got a streaming channel, we've got the newsletter that goes out. Will does so much with this, it just does an amazing job. We have our Code Red reverse 911 system. There really isn't any way that you can't connect with us. We will find a way to get you information from Miami Township. Just look on our webpage and pick one of these options. We're more than happy to get you plugged in. And then coming soon, a lot of this falls in Ryan's realm over here. We've got some really cool events planned for 2025. The Adult Easter Egg Scramble coming up on April 5th. That is going to be 21 and up, so you know what that means, right? No kids, which is fantastic for those of us that have kids. Love our kids, right? But at some point, you just want to be away from them. Do something fun like that. There's going to be some really cool prizes. There's going to be adult beverages as well. I think it's just going to be a really fun time from 4 to 8 p.m. at our Civic Center, and Ryan can give us a lot more details on that if you catch him after this. He's also got some really neat concerts coming. country concert. Blake Tyler's an up-and-coming artist. And then who doesn't love Taylor Swift right now? There's a really neat, okay, one person does not love Taylor Swift right now, okay? I will not tell Travis Kelce on it. But at the end of the day, she's so popular that there's a cover band or a cover group that comes out and provides a whole experience. And believe Ryan's going to tie this in with one of our camps that we do in our recreation department to make it like a week-long experience for everybody who just can't get enough of Taylor Swift. So we will not register you, sir, for that, but you're welcome to attend if you like. Thank you very much for your time today. I'm so happy I got to tell you a little bit about Miami Township, and I'll be around if you have any questions.
That's an excellent, thank you, Steve. We were just kind of reminiscing this time last year. I was still introducing him as the fire chief interim township administrator. So it's been an excellent year. Congratulations on 1 year. Okay, David Kennedy is up next, the one and only. David has been with the city manager. David, has it been 9 years? Is that correct? Okay, I thought maybe it was more. After serving as the village administrator of New Richmond, Ohio, for 25 years, he came to the city of Loveland. His education includes a bachelor's degree in urban planning from Miami University and a master's degree in community planning from the University of Cincinnati. He was born and raised on the west side of Cincinnati and has been married to Mary Jo, God bless her, right? I'm just kidding. For 34 plus years, I don't know what that means, but they have 2 children, Anna and Jacob. So the one and only David Kennedy, here we go.
Thank you very much. I guess I've been doing these since the beginning, right? So I just want to touch on a few items. I go a little bit different direction. The townships and the cities just sort of a little bit different, deeper dive maybe into the finances and some of the projects. We do a lot of construction projects over the course of the year, and I want to touch on those. One of the most important things that I think we do, and I know I'm standing up here because it comes with the job title, but it's really city council and the staff. We have 59 employees at this very moment, and it's this group of people that really allows us to do what we want to do. And every 2 years they get together and they go off and we go out of the city, we meet on a Saturday morning and we go into a deep dive with department heads and council, a roll up your sleeves program type of structure, and they create their goals. And those are what the city, that's our guidance. It's staff's job then to report quarterly back to the city council, and that's what we do. And it's a big deal. It means a lot to staff because they get to see council up front, understand all the intricate details that they have to deal with, and they get to hear from staff on sometimes we can't do that project, and so on and so forth. So with basic structure, and I know, and I can say this for Sims and Miami Township, that whole thing with citizens up front, that's true. Sims and Miami believe that too. That's not a hokey thing. They truly do. I think that all 3 of these communities understand what customer service means. Those days of this is the way we'll do it and just get over it that's not how government is. I've been doing this for 40 years. So I've seen the transition, and that's the way things are. We are a restaurant. They are our customers. You want to leave them happy, and that's important. So we are surrounded, again, I'm surrounded by some of the best, finest department heads around. Mark Meller is our director of finance. He follows a long line of talent, including the lady who's sitting at this table right here, Kelly Flanagan, in dealing with our city finances. Just like Kelly, Mark is quite a team player. You can imagine any community that brings in the amount of grant money that this city brings in, how much stuff that has to be dealt with, funds, and how it needs to be spent. And Mark is just absolutely excellent. Mark, obviously, is quite the award winner. Actually, Kelly was a big part of this too. So not only does the city receive award for their annual budget, but most importantly, we receive awards for our annual financial reporting. And something that we invested in 2 years ago is our budgeting software. Yes, it makes our day-to-day life easier, but any resident, there's not a question you can't find on the city's finances by going on the city's website through our new budgeting software. You take that and Ohio Checkbook, I would say all communities can admit that anything you want to know about our finances. We're a little different in a city than a township because we rely heavily on our general fund money. And our city income tax and our real estate, we basically operate our police department from that. We don't have a police levy. And you can sort of see over the years how this money has increased. And a lot of that comes from three main areas: the Commerce Park, Keith McCluskey, Mike's Car Wash headquarters, so on and so forth. And it also comes from the school district. They're one of the #1 employers in the city. And we obviously have a really good relationship with them. But another component that's sort of grown over the years, and people used to say, I didn't know what we were talking about, but the other component is collectively the downtown districts. That whole thing that they're a bunch of high school kids and they're not, doesn't mean anything. That's not true. So they're an incredible impact to the city's finances, but collectively they make a big difference in the city. And of course, they're like the old anchor to the mall. You know, they are part of what attracts people to the city. So they really do need their proper recognition. When it comes to our police department, I've actually got to work, in my 10 years, I got to work with 3 police chiefs. Mike Gabrielson, I had the privilege of hiring Mike a few years back, and it was like, how do you describe somebody in as few words as possible? And I would say community policing. At its absolute best, you talk about an agency, you name an agency in the city, Care Center, Nest, or anyone, Mike is extremely, wants to be a part of it. And you can't fake that. It either works or it doesn't work. It's just that simple. If it isn't genuine and natural to you, you can tell. It's natural and genuine to Mike. He totally appreciates it. He's surrounded himself with some good people that allow him to do it. This is sort of our current staffing. Mike has 15 patrolmen. We have 5 lieutenants, 2 administrators, which is basically Mike and the assistant chief, and then 4 support. He's had a lot of changeover in 24, a tremendous amount of changeover. And thanks to Julie Robinson, our new HR director, who sort of knew and came back type of thing, we were able to get through all of this process. And of course, as a city, we have a civil service process and everything that has to be done. So we're pretty excited about that. I didn't do this because I knew Mike was going to be here, because I didn't know Mike was going to be here. But our SRO program that we do is, and I only do this chart, it really doesn't mean anything. The only reason I throw that chart up there is A, to show you the partners. We have 4 SROs in the city, including 1 parochial school and 3 with Loveland City School District. And the reason I do this is just to show you that this is truly an equal opportunity. We tell Mike every year before the school year begins what all of the SROs, what their costs are here, and we split it 50-50. It's not just here's what their salary, it's everything. And it's a true partnership, and it's why it works, and it's why it keeps going on. And I'll tell you, I know this from talking to Mike, these guys are more than a cop in a school. They totally get involved with it. They will do anything with the kids. They interact with the kids. They help the kids. And it is a wonderful, wonderful program. And we really owe Mike all the thanks to this and moving forward. When we talk about, I went way too far. I'm sorry. Go back. I'm sorry. When we talk about a fire chief, I don't know that you could actually pick a person who's so much more than a fire chief. I find myself leaning on Chief Huber more than anything with just general day-to-day type of stuff. Hey Chief, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What they do for this community through the Firefighters Association, his basically assistance with me for the 10 years I've been here is beyond, it's hard to describe. When you look at what they do in terms of their activity between us and Sims, it's pretty impressive, the amount of runs, the amount of calls. But one of the things you never really remember is that these are communities that have their own comm center. And there is so much value that everyone feels in having our own comm center than simply farming that out. It's costly, it's an investment made by the communities, but we think it's worth it. The people you're talking to at 911 are up on Lebanon Road. They know your streets, they know how to do it, they know when you call about a water main break, where they're talking about, and it is worth every penny. You have to be invested. Their software and everything that goes with it isn't cheap, but it's worth it, and it's a commitment that Chief Huber has always pushed, always supported, and it's a smart move, and I don't know that we would be doing it today if it wasn't for him. I only do this, again, you don't have to read all this stuff on the left, that was just for the awe factor, but that's just sort of to show you how much is involved with the fire station. From the time they put together the committee in 2020 to figure out where we want to build our new fire station until November 18th, till the construction began, this is all that went on to it. Now, a big chunk of that is because the city went after USDA funding to do this, and that throws out a whole new gamut thing. But when you look at this new station and how it fits into this community, how they were respectful, believe me, if you don't think Chief Huber had a lot to do with this design, yes, he did. And that's why it works both functionally, and that's also why it's going to look nice and will look nice. And that's a big part of it. It's up on East Loveland. Of course, we're all sort of, real action factor is that we realize that the existing fire station will be repurposed into something very good. But that's sort of the good part when the city owns when the city owns a building, right? It's not necessarily taking the most money, it's what fits best for the downtown district, and I know we fully intend to do that. Fire station in 2024 also got a new quint. That's another awe factor from the time it was ordered until this time it was delivered. But those are the kind of processes that we go through the government, and can't say enough about what LSFD does in this community. And again, just like with Chief Gabriel said, it's because it's natural, they like it, they understand it, and they see the value and the benefit of being out in the community. I pointed that lower right-hand picture. It means nothing to the rest of you, but that was Chief Huber before the shovels hit the ground at the fire station with the senior apartments right next door, calming the ladies, letting them know about the dust and all of those kind of things. It didn't hurt that Bruce Hawk was getting them all coffee, but we know Bruce Hawk. So when you come down to what the function of a city is, everybody in Township Sims and Miami Township knows to me, this is sort of where the rubber hits the road with the services that provided to it. What do you provide your residents? Because at the end of the day, they're paying their taxes, they're paying their water bill, and what do they do? What do they see? And I think this is where it all really hits the road, and that's through our public works. The amount of work, obviously, along with our own road system, our stormwater system, we have our own stormwater system, but most importantly and most expensively, the city has its own water system, and that is something that the city is proud to maintain. And I say that because we did a water main project on Main Street, and the city engineer at the time, her name was Cindy Kloppenstein, and an absolute gem of a human being. And she said, "Dave, I found the plans for the water mains on Main Street." And when she told me the date of when those water mains went in, I said, "Holy cow, Teddy Roosevelt was president when those were put in." And we started to realize we simply don't have the money to have any kind of schedule, any kind of plan to get our water mains replaced. And City Council put together a one-time fee onto every utility bill of $7.50. Explained it, worked it, for the sole purpose, and you could go into that fund at any point in time, and you can see it is only spent for water main replacement. That has changed the day because while that is going on, and while we no longer have to take debt to replace water mains, the debt is rolling off to the benefit of the water fund. That was a pretty extensive move for that city, but it is an enterprise fund. Water is an enterprise fund, and we are now actively being able to replace water mains, not take on any other debt, and that's an important aspect, and it's like not a very fancy component, but it changed how this city operates, and in the long term, every few years, another old debt rolls off, and that benefits everything else. Our road rehab program is a big deal. We totally underfunded it for many, many years. We shot that up, and we're starting to see it. We've got our main roads done now. We're able to focus on one subdivision at a time as we go through, and that's a big deal. And that goes back to the basic services you provide your residents. Like Jody said, you plow their streets, you keep their parks clean, and you pave their streets. And that is important, and we just weren't doing it. When I was in New Richmond, we spent $100,000 on roads, and we were teeny. So when in 2024, we lost a lot of talent. We lost Corey Wright went back to Union Township, and Cindy Kloppenstein went to Indian Hill, and you sort of go, ugh, when that happens, especially, if you're me. I think it says a lot for City Council that we're able to attract the people back, because I think people understand we have a lot going on. You're able to get involved in projects, you're able to Do what you do well without people sticking their nose in their business. And through that, we were able to attract Chris Weinage. He's our new assistant city manager, who's here today to come in. And I joke with him all the time about being an engineer, but when you are as active as this city is, and we all heard the word PFAS, you know, that you're all heard about people with water systems, we have to remediate PFAS from our water. When that is accomplished by this city by 2029 or whatever the date ends up being, that will all be because of Chris, because he's taken the time, you walk through the process, you get the funding, and you go through it. But at the end of the day, the city fully obviously intends to maintain our water system. So a big part of what Chris does is they oversee the building and zoning department. Our type of growth is a little different. The days of, I would say if you could run this chart back here, back when Tom Carroll was here, you were probably looking at 20, 30, maybe even 40 homes a year. But those days have long been over. But what you're also seeing is a significant change in the valuation of the homes. We're averaging around $650,000, and a lot of that has to do with the Chimney Ridge development. And so, and also that private investment is what has the corresponding impact on the property taxes that we talked about before. I didn't even know what the word infill development actually meant. I just act like I did, but we saw that on 2nd Street. So what you're seeing is people are buying those lots that you wouldn't think anyone would ever want, and this is what we're getting. And I think that's sort of the future for a while for the city. We have a similar project up on Oak Street. You've all seen, those are the unit, those are up on Oak Street. You're all seeing above the Dairy Whip. That's what we're getting. And actually, Chris is now working because you have to pivot, right? Part of pivoting in a town full of infill development is also looking at your zoning coding, knowing that it probably needs to be cleaned up, or you're constantly running people through variances and all of those kind of things. So this is the future of the city right now, and that's probably it for quite a while. So that's what we're working on, and that's what we're seeing, and you can see those as we speak. Another big part, and for those of you who know Eva, and thank God she's not here because she would never stop talking, she'd be pumping her hands right now, but she is extremely good at working with business owners. And this used to be, and what we're seeing is quite the mixed bag that you're getting in downtown. Downtown is sort of changing. We're still able to attract the E&Os of the world, but you're also getting that retail. A downtown district that is all one thing isn't good for all the other businesses. And I think what you're seeing now in the downtown district is more and more of the mix, and that everyone feeds off of everybody. Add the Dora, add other projects that the city's doing. Hopefully you just keep expanding and going on. And that's why I think the city will be very selective with what we put into the old fire station. Part of the big thing, and this is sort of what Chris has grabbed the ball and has taken, is call it the next frontier or whatever you want to call it. But the future of, if you could go down Love Madeira Road as is today, 2025, and take 100 pictures or 20 pictures, come back 10 years from now and take those pictures and look how that district will be completely and totally transformed. This is a 3-phase project, 2 of which have already been funded. The middle phase is not funded. We are still working. But the other thing that is the city could simply sit here and say, we're going to fix the streetscape. We're going to make it all look nice and pretty and put in trees and new sidewalks and so on and so forth. Or the city could take an extremely active role in it, and that's what the city is doing. The city received $3 million from the Ohio Brownfield Grant Program to remediate the Chestnut Street property. The city purchased the land in front of the Chestnut property because it did not have access to Love Madeira Road. Then the city recently purchased the Denisi Mirror Factory, which is a vacant, dilapidated building. Every one of those 3 projects I just mentioned were grant funded, and we're currently getting ready to working on funding the demolition of it. Transforming the district by removing blighted structures, taking a piece of property that nobody ever wanted to touch because it was a brownfield nightmare, cleaning it up and then providing access to it. That's what it means to not only take care of that role, and that's what council is focused on. They could simply have said, we're funding the streetscape, we got these pretty things. No, this is going to help set the tone for the other future growth, and I can't emphasize enough how important that is. Soon you'll see that building go down, and hopefully then a new building go in there. So 2024 was probably one of the most active capital improvement programs we've ever had. The city is very proud of the fact that they bring in a lot of grant money for capital projects, and it's the full hands-on deck. Ricky Gregg, our water treatment plant operator, got funding for an important valve operator tool. Chris was here 3 months before he secured funding for Nisbet Park. Misty was able to secure funding for the parking spaces over at Cox Lot. Mike will get money through the Department of Justice, on and on and on. And that's what we do. And because of that, you're able to put together projects that simply just would not happen without the grant funding. So that in a typical year, there's a sort of a summary of how the city was able to put together what ended up being a bit of a whirlwind. The city is committed to completing their master plan. I'm not going to say I've seen it happen, but I've certainly seen communities that put the master plans, put them together, put them on a shelf and never touch them. In some form or fashion, all 4 of the city's master plans that were done in a 2-year period of time are actively amongst construction occurring in Nisbet Park. The other message that came out of that comprehensive master plan is our residents wanted connectivity. They wanted to be able to walk amongst their neighborhoods and also walk into the downtown. This last year we did the phase 2 of Lovell Miamiville Road. This will be the final phase. We'll get right up to the edge of Miami Township. And those are a big project. And when we do these, we don't just put sidewalks in. You gotta fix the stormwater, you gotta fix the water mains, so on and so forth. The project from hell, and I mean that with all reality. I have never in my life been involved in a project that when the engineer gave me the detour route, I literally thought he was joking. I think there's, you know what I said, but that was this project. There was just no easy way. And those residents up there, I'm glad they at least get to see this when they drive. That was without a doubt the most disruptive public infrastructure project in the history, well, my 10 years with the city, but I can say my 40 years. But look at all the different components that were involved. The ridge replacement, MSD came in, Claremont County fixed the bridge, we did stormwater, we did sidewalks, we fixed the road, we put in all the new railing. That bridge was so old that we weren't really telling the residents, but ODOT, who does the bridge inspection, said, oh, by the way, next time we're out here, fire trucks won't be able to go over it. Oops, there's a fire station right there. That would have been a bit of a problem. So West Lovell Bridge was another one that we had some partners with. Our role in this project was mostly the lighting and the antique railing, but we had Claremont County, the city, with OPWC grants, and Hamilton County engineer. Another project that I'm sure most residents are saying, thank God it's over with. And so that was actually, we added the elements to make it look good. And obviously the new parking lot that the city constructed, there's one thing I can tell you is that this is so much more than new parking spaces. What we anticipated with this project was that it would change how traffic comes and goes in the city. It really is happening. People can come into downtown, and I don't mean this Kevin either, but it isn't no longer all roads lead to Paxton. It is that you can come into downtown from all different aspects. Chris comes in every day through the parking lot. It's how people come in town. And that allows people to flow in and out. We also took the opportunity to redo all the parking around Loveland City Hall. This is, if you've ever been in City Hall, in downtown in the summertime, people mindlessly walking down the middle of the road, cars coming and going, all over the place. This project was actually devised by Cindy Kloppenstein, which allowed us to create a prepared entrance off of a new road we created, which is Harrison. And so if you see this today, you can know this turned out to be it's a public safety, it's a transportation, it's an accessibility, and it was all in all a big project. Of course, we always do a bunch of little things. We're always trying to tweak things. What we do, our commitment to the water main. By the way, did you know that you can buy plastic bases for downtown street lights for a fourth of the price, and nobody knows they're plastic. So we were going to do that over multiple years, and the guy that we're just buying them from said, "I need my plastic ones. You can do them all in 1 year." So you can never tell them. They go up and you'll see they're actually made out of plastic. But we got some future transportation changes coming with that. We made some in-house block. So upcoming that we have, this is hopefully our next big signature project. We hope to find out in March. We're looking to transform Nisbet Park. We've been doing a piece here. We've submitted a significant grant, actually letters of support from Mike Gabriels, Mike Broadwater, and this will change Nisbet Park to be able to handle, in conjunction with the parking, in conjunction with the accessibility, allowing us to really bring in some type of feature events, not obviously Taylor Swift, like Steve, but we're able to bring in. But as you see, if you look at the master plan, we have been picking away to get the Nisbet Park master plan complete. Another big one that's coming is the West Loveland Bike Trail. Soon the West Loveland Bike Trail will be signalized both for cars and for pedestrian traffic. This is a big issue with the pedestrian flow, but because the city had already invested in the smart traffic signals, the traffic signals can talk to each other and they know when the optimum time to do this. This was funded through a grant from the state of Ohio, and this project will probably begin mid to late summer. And another big project that we're getting ready to do is an expansion of the turn lane. There's never, one of the things that we quickly realized, there was never a quick fix to how you deal with traffic down in the city of Loveland. If so, Tom Carroll would have fixed it. It's a bunch of little tweaks. It's all of the little things. It's the updates of the traffic signal, working with Sims to do the emergency, so the traffic signals know when an emergency vehicle is coming, putting preemption in every traffic signal so those white pads know when cars are coming. And also items like this. So people stack on West Loveland that want to turn on Loveland Madeira Road. This will expand that turn lane and again, get traffic moving. It's a bunch of little pieces, and this is another component of that little piece. Probably the biggest single infrastructure project in the history of the city, it will happen hopefully in 2026 with Riverside Drive. We've all driven by it. We've all seen the city put blacktop into a hole and came back 2 months later and the hole is there. Well, it's because the damn thing is falling into the river. So the city has sort of hitched their wagon with the Army Corps of Engineers and beginning a process to completely and totally revitalize that roadway. And this has been, I've been using this picture for like 3 years. It's just so slow, but this is the only way you're just going to be able to do it. Another thing, this goes back to the water main replacement fund that the city has. By having these funds, getting $750,000 from Greg Landsman, we're able to continue the commitment the city's making to revitalizing the Loveland Heights with a $2.2 million water main replacement. And there's no cool picture to go with the water main replacement. That's it. You know what that is? That's where there was a leak. So, but the point is that the city has invested in the Heights. We've upgraded the parks. We did a grant program with the residents there to help them make the exterior improvements. This is part of that, and we can't thank Greg Landsman enough for helping. Without that money, without the WMR, we'd just be sitting there watching the water main breaks. So another big thing, and I think one of the coolest things that we're getting ready to do is what was the mobile station next to City Hall. We're working towards making it a beautiful pocket park that's coming up in the future. We're working on that. We're trying to get all of our funding together. The city bought the mobile gas station, committed to fully remediating, getting rid of the old tanks, getting the bad soils out, working with Buster, the Bureau of Underground Storage, working with the EPA and following the rules to pave the way for one of the most beautiful gateway parks that I think you'll ever see. This is back to that connectivity. The city is committed. When you look at this map, I just wrote this up. It really didn't make a whole lot of sense, but the blue are projects, are neighborhoods that we've already connected. The yellow are communities that we have funded now to connect, and the red are in it. It won't be long. Well, it will be long because it's state funding, but all of the Warren County communities that I believe were probably promised sidewalks years ago, will all of the Warren County communities up on Butterworth and State Route 48 will all be connected to the downtown district. That's fully funded. So we're pretty excited about that. Lastly, the sesquicentennial, Misty is running that charge. To say she's got big plans for 2026 is an understatement, but it is an important part of the city's history, and stay tuned for what is coming coming forward. Lastly, I can tell you that having worked in public service for 40 years and getting to know residents, well, when you're buying their homes after a flood, you really get to know them. But getting to know residents at a whole different level that I've had the privilege to know, I just don't think I've ever met a finer person than Pat. I know CC agrees. She passed away this summer, in April, and it's just, couldn't say enough, okay? So, but I just wanted to say, I felt like I did this last year because we named the street after her. And so we just want to do it again. Just a great lady. I really appreciate your time. I'm sorry if I went a little long. I tried to do it. I'm going to have you on the slides.
Fantastic. announcements. First of all, we want to thank our speakers. Obviously, they gave up a chunk of their time, and I appreciate them bringing their staff and folks with them. Got a chamber hat for them, so we'll be handing those out. Please wear those proudly. We always appreciate their support, and we love supporting them. I don't know, after I see this, I get so excited and so proud that I live, work, and shop in these communities. And I love this stuff. So thank you. Another round of applause for David, Jody, and Steve. We do have some upcoming events I wanted to share. Our Valentine's Lady, which Pat Furter, that David mentioned, was a former Valentine lady. And they are in the post office right now stamping the commemorative cards that come out every year with the new artwork. So please go see them. Hearts of Fire is coming up this weekend. And there is a dance in here, and there's a comedian in here, in this building as well. But there is stuff in almost every business throughout Loveland. So come down, you won't be bored, and you will find something to do, and you'll have a great time. So please come down this weekend. Mention the stamping, the breakfast for the Valentine ladies. It is a heartwarming event, so if you can come on February 14th, it is at Oasis, where we honor all the Valentine ladies for the great work they've done in the community. And it's just a pleasure. You get a chance to meet them, the poetry winners, and the artists for the card that I mentioned. And we are partnering with the Milford Chamber to do our business expo at the Little Miami Brewery Event Center. If your business wants to be a part of that, space is limited. We thought about changing the location, but we really like that location, and we're going to be using the outside. So it's March 20th, so it'll be a lot warmer, we just know it. And we hope you all can come out. If you don't want to do a booth, we hope you'll come by and meet some of the businesses as well. The last thing I wanted to mention that we're super excited about is something we wanted to do at the Chamber for a long time, and Meredith and Lacey have helped me with this, is our Discover Loveland gift card. So we have close to 40 businesses. I see Railway Barber here, I see a couple of the others, that you can redeem the gift card at those businesses in the Loveland area. So if you scan the QR code, these are at the front, you can see all the businesses, but these are for sale now. It's an e-gift card, and the QR code will take you right to the site where you can purchase. It is great because you can give somebody this, and then they can walk around and choose wherever the heck they want to use it, whether they want to use it at a restaurant or a boutique or get a massage, what have you. So very excited to be able to offer that. So please check that out. And I think I got it all. Thank you all. Have a great afternoon. Thanks again to our speakers, and hopefully we'll see you at the breakfast, Hearts of Fire, and the Business Expo. Have a great afternoon. Thanks.